we can have this conversation, are UFOs real? They're not real, they're fucking real. The bigger question is, have we actually been working on something? If that gets revealed, if this UFO whistleblower thing works and the NDAs are just out the window.
At S4, he says, are flying saucers, antimatter reactors, and other working examples of technology that is seemingly beyond human capabilities.
All right, time to put your thinking caps on, folks. We've got videos of aliens, UFOs, and cryptids to dissect, and we're gonna do it together. So a flock of mysterious glowing UFOs are spotted soaring at high speed near an Air Force base in Indiana this year, and it spooked dozens of onlookers. And we've got the wild video footage to prove it. So if you're looking at it, at least 6 yellowish orange orbs were captured on camera. They were flickering and hovering, and this was near Kokomo, just south of the Grissom Joint Air Reserve Base. And they vanished into the air all of a sudden. Now this was back in October, so not that long ago. Now you can hear one neighbor on the footage saying, "What is that? I think those are UFOs and I really don't feel comfortable going to sleep tonight." Yeah, you and me both. Another stunned witness declares, "What in the actual The zigzagging aircraft appeared as a huge rectangle with a clearly defined vapor shockwave on Doppler weather radar," according to one witness. Somebody else said, "I've seen many easily explained radar anomalies over the years, but never a huge rectangle with a clearly defined wave and trail." So what's going on here, folks? Well, one witness said, judging by the image size, the rectangle would be approximately 20 miles in length. Now, some observers did say the bizarre orbs were likely flares dropped from a military aircraft. Yeah, Alejandro Rojas, an advisor at Enigma Labs, said, yeah, they look very clearly military flare things. Now, sure, yeah, that could be an answer, but I don't think it's a definite one. The strange sightings come after a whole wave of UFO reports near military sites. We're talking the Joint Base Langley Eustis in Virginia. That's where officials saw flashing red, green, and white lights in December of last year, and no, they were not Christmas lights. And also, folks, last I checked, the US Air Force has not given any explanation for the hovering lights, and you know they like to discredit things. They either say, no comment, this was that, so if they haven't said it, it's an anomaly. May I offer you some 10-foot tall aliens next? Here's the thing, anything over 7 feet tall is already terrifying to me, personally. Ditto for aliens on their own, no matter what they look like. So when you put those two together, hi, Alexa's nightmares manifested. A video showing 2 human-like creatures on top of a hill on an island in Brazil gained a lot of traction on social media this year. According to a New York Post report, the beings were, 10 feet tall and spotted at, let's see if I get this right, Ilha do Mel, which is an island more than 3 kilometers off of the coast of southeast Brazil. Now this is a favorite spot for environmentally conscious travelers and beach lovers, and it is celebrated for its varied ecosystems. It's about 5 kilometers in length, 800 meters in width. It's a scenic mosaic of natural marvels. So if we're looking back at the video, you've got figure number 1 and figure number 2 is standing close by, and their appearance on the hilltop sparked a lot of chatter amongst locals. In the video you see these are creatures that are standing confidently on top of the hill, and apparently according to locals it's difficult to reach, and the shrubbery on the hill barely reaches their knees. The pair could be seen swinging their arms in an eerily human-like manner, but not enough to convince eyewitnesses that they weren't watching aliens. Somebody in the video literally says, "It's too big to be a person. Look at the way he moves, it's really weird. Look at the size of those, like it's very fast." For me, it's enough to see the speed with which this creature goes down the hill. Anyone who has done trails on this hill knows that you don't go down a hill like this in 1 to 2 minutes. That was according to somebody on Instagram, and somebody else said like the way they move reminded them a lot of the Men in Black critters. One person said, and I agree with this, "One thing I do know, I'm never stepping foot there." So actually the Brazilian government kind of got in on the fun, for lack of a better word. They didn't confirm whether these were tourists from another country or another planet. They were just like, "Oh my gosh, surreal what happened on Ilha do Mel." And it's just like, okay, that's an interesting choice. Great summer, it's another story. Even strange beings seem to check it out. They like tweeted this and they're like, "Oh my god, we're gonna have fun with it." Folks, shouldn't we be concerned if these are aliens visiting? What do you think it was? Let me know. So this next video was courtesy of user Valhu on TikTok. They opened their front door to a creature that looks almost like a deer, but there's no ears and the eyes aren't in the right spots. So this is known as not deer in the cryptid community. And they're described as looking like a deer from a distance, but you get closer, you look at it longer, and you realize something just isn't right with how things are. Kind of like a bad puzzle. Their movements are described as similar to a newborn deer, but appearing as an adult, with some theories suggesting that the creature is double jointed, maybe has additional joints in its limbs. The most defining feature though is that not deers do not have eyes on the side of their head, but at the front, like a predator, like this video. They tend to hang out a lot in Tennessee, but granted this video did come from somewhere in Southern California, which, okay, like, You do you, maybe it traveled. I have theories that kind of relate back to alien beings and cryptids, but you don't need to hear me go on and blather on. I do that enough. So imagine that you're a homeowner. I know, big imagine in this economy. Heading out into your backyard to just throw away the trash, and then you're nose to nose with an alien. Now, I don't think that'll ever happen to me in this lifetime, mainly because I don't see myself owning a house in this economy, but anyways, we're gonna move on. I know folks who are homeowners that have dealt with bears invading the trash. They never tried to break through wooden doors. Very long story, happened to my dad, but anyways, back to aliens we go. So last June, there was a video that was circulating on the app formerly known as Twitter, and it depicted a non-human entity appearing briefly and blinking. The footage revealed a distinct form featuring 2 large eyes aligning with the caller's previous description. And this caller reported, there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one is inside it, and it has big eyes, and it's looking at us, and it's still there. Like, they were obviously panicking. Now, 3 men and a woman can be seen attempting to record the so-called non-human creature. Notably, one of them is armed with a personal safety device that I can't name by name. And all of them appear visibly frightened by the presence of this non-human entity that's just hanging out. Now, there's been no official statement by the police, but come on. So we got some video footage. There was a local newscast that broadcasted something, and it shows one officer walking into the backyard to be like, hey, we need to investigate. And there's a witness telling the police, I don't believe in it, but what I saw right now, I do believe in it. And I always say your greatest believers are always your biggest doubters originally. And the officer was like, yeah, you guys seem legit scared, so I don't blame you. Yeah. However, without any concrete evidence, the police has closed the case. But I don't know. What do you think you saw? So I'm not quite sure if this next thing is a large bug, an alien, or a UFO. So I'm gonna need your help to help me decipher just what on earth this, I don't know what it is. So there's a video. It's capturing this cloaked jellyfish-shaped object that's hanging out near, once again, a US military airbase, and it's caused a lot of chitter-chatter online. Everybody wants to know, what are we looking at? This very curious footage, recorded through a thermal imaging camera, kinda just adds to the complexity of UFO lore. So this video was initially shared by UFO investigator Jeremy Corbell, and it brought the incident into the public eye. He emphasized the incredible risk undertaken by an individual within military ranks to smuggle this footage into the public domain, because whistleblowers have a very bad history of disappearing if the government isn't happy, or just publicly discredited if their boss is in a good mood. So if we're going back to this jellyfish-looking unknown, I have a lot of questions. So this mesmerizing ballet unfolds as the unidentified, I don't know what, glides over a body of water, abruptly halts its movement, descends into the water with an almost ritualistic precision, and then for a suspended 17 minutes, embraces silence. And then, all of a sudden, it emerges from the water, launching itself into the sky at a 45-degree angle. So we do have an official statement from the Department of Defense. Sue Gao was like, oh, we have these very carefully crafted words. And she said, and I quote, because direct quotes, folks, we do not comment on the authenticity of alleged DoD material that may have been leaked. Okay. However, once again, folks, the Department of Defense is not exactly known for transparency. Yeah. So let's bring in some analysts, folks. One a Ross Coulthart, who kind of highlights the absence of a categorical denial. He's like, maybe this is a strategic maneuver by government entities. It's the nuanced dance of neither confirm nor deny. It is a classic diplomatic move when navigating the labyrinth of questions without revealing the cards held close to the chest. What do you think? Let me know, because my verdict, it's real. And that's all for today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ookie spooky girly. See ya!